Hi, everybody, and welcome to this moon in Taurus. But of course, it's a timeless message. So no matter when you're watching it, it's going to be just perfect for you. This is going to be an activation for the affectionate wound. And for some, that could be a little bit confusing. You don't really understand what the affectionate wound is. So usually it's going to be connected from the mother wound. And a lot of times it's not having the bond or affection of your mother or caregiver. And you may not even realize how much it can affect you. And sometimes it can take years into adulthood to realize how much having either no affection or low doses of affection, specifically from your mother, has affected you in so many areas. And so today I want to go through this activation. It's going to be so soft, gentle, and beautiful. And I'm really excited to share it with you. And you can follow along. But before we start, I just want to take a few deep breaths and kind of get your body ready for this activation. And I also want to welcome in our ancestors, because being an ancestral guide, I absolutely love working with ancestors and spirit guides. But regardless if you believe in that or not, I just want to welcome in the source, universe, the presence that's going to help us during this time to comfort us. But I also want to welcome Divine Mother. So this is going to be really making sense in the middle of our activation and at the end, how the Divine Mother is the full source of gentleness, love, loving affection. It's perfect. Divine Mother resides inside of you, inside of me, and she is perfect. Her love is perfect. And so the activation is going to come from Divine Mother. And so I just want to take this time to welcome in any of your spirit guides, my spirit guides, ancestral guides, angels, source, whatever it is that you call it, and just welcome them in and say, I receive today, and I receive Divine Mother, source, love, universe, whatever it is for me today, what is going to be activated inside of my soul, body, my muscles, my tendons, my cells, my heart, because I really truly believe that this activation is going to do so much for your body, for your soul, for your heart. So kind of take some deep breaths, kind of move your shoulders around. I always like to move my shoulders because, especially whenever you're getting ready for a new activation, our bodies can become kind of tense. And we move them around to kind of welcome in whatever it is that's going to be received into your own body, whatever healing is going to activate for you. And so while you're moving around your shoulders and taking deep breath, I'm going to, for just not even a minute, I'm going to play this sound bowl and just kind of receive it in. And as you hear the sound of the bowl, take some deep breaths, move your shoulders, your neck, and begin to receive and allow your body to release as well, whatever it may be wanting or needing to release. Hoping you can hear it. It tends to get louder. I hope you can hear it. Sometimes the the microphone from my iPad won't pick it up. So I hope you were able to hear that. And there is also a chat if you want to add anything into the chat. I can also see your chat, okay? And I don't know if you were able to hear that sound bowl, but any kind of sound, if you want to play any music in the background or anything like that, it just kind of activates your body with the sound, because the really cool thing is sometimes you don't know what you need or what your body needs. And when you play any kind of sound frequencies, it kind of hits it where it needs it without even knowing. So it's so amazing. So with the affectionate wound, I really believe that the affectionate wound is connected to not having either an abundance of loving touch. Anytime I say the word touch, I am talking about a loving, affectionate, pure touch. So sometimes, many times the affectionate wound is coming from not being lovingly touched as a child. There wasn't much loving connection. There was not much contact. And when I speak of contact, I'm talking hugs, I'm talking communication, I'm talking like just the soft, gentle, even the facial expressions of admiration towards you as a child, the eyes, the having a mother or your caregiver looking at you with eyes of love, with eyes of admiration, and just this pure gentleness, this ingratitude, right? And this is something that every child deserves, but so many of us, and chances are, if you're watching this activation for the affectionate wound, you may not have had the connection, the contact, the affectionate, pure, loving touch of a mother. And this is specifically the mother wound. So this, of course, can be for other family members that you wanted to have that connection with. But for this purpose, for this activation, I'm specifically speaking about the mother's divine mother. So your mother, your human mother, is the mother who, birthed you or raised you, or it could also be a caregiver. But divine mother, when I speak of divine mother, I'm speaking of the essence of perfection, the essence of pure, loving affection, contact, touch. This is the divine mother who looks upon you and whispers, "I love you. I have always wanted you. I am so thankful for you. I am so much in gratitude that you were given to me. And I would never, ever want to give you up. And I would never choose anyone else besides you to be my child." That is divine mother. Those are the words of divine mother. So when I speak of divine mother, that is who I'm speaking about. When I speak of human mother, it would be the mother who birthed you or your caregiver. So a lot of times when we were not connected or have that contact, right? That touch, that loving touch from specifically human mother, what happens is many times we forget the touch. We forget what it is. If we've never even had it, then we don't even know. So what happens there are some things that we grow up and we don't really understand. But when you start awakening and you come into this process where you're wanting to heal, you realize, is this normal? So some of the things that I listed are not wanting to be lovingly touched by your partner or your lover, not being able to affectionately bond with your own child if you are a parent yourself, feeling your body kind of tense up when somebody wants to give you a hug, like a good, loving hug. you feel your body kind of like pushing away and disliking. Another one could be hating your body. And again, you do not have to have every one of these, and maybe you don't have any of them, but you could have your own. But these are just some. Hating your own body, disgusted with romance or sex or lovemaking, seeing it as a disgust. Your body's shutting down when wanting to be affectionate. So if you have a child or a lover or a partner and they're wanting to be affectionate, you find yourself pulling away. You find yourself kind of pulling back from the affection. And that doesn't mean you don't want affection. You do. You want affection, but as you want the affection, you feel your body tense up and kind of push away. And it's almost like it's at war with what you really want. And you don't really understand that. Another one could be wanting to be lovingly touched, but disliking it at the same time. So you know that we were meant to love and be loved, but it's almost as if your body pushes away. And so with this activation, this is what this activation is going to do. I'm going to lead you and guide you through this meditation that I'm super excited to do, because I actually did it earlier, about a few hours ago, on myself. And I found myself getting very emotional, and it was almost like my body was emotional because it was being validated. And so I really hope that it will help you, and I know it will. It's a beginning process of letting your body know that it has always been safe to be lovingly touched. And that's the statement we're going to continue to say when I lead you through the activation. So feel free to write that down if you have a pen or paper. It is safe for me to be lovingly touched. That's the statement I'm going to repeat many times during the activation. So if you have it written down, you can keep looking at that, because that's one of the statements I'm going to keep saying. Okay. And so right before I get into the activation, so start preparing. If you want to turn on a candle, if not already, put light music in the background. I do, but I don't think you can hear it. And get your body ready. You can begin to lay down if not already. Get yourself in a comfortable position. Lay on a yoga mat, sit up on a chair, a comfy chair, get your comfy pillow. As well, if you would like some crystals. The crystals that I have with me is flower agate. It's a very divine, feminine, soft, gentle crystal. This one really works really good for gentleness and just that tender touch that we all deserved and wanted in childhood. The other one I have is purple. I'm probably going to mispronounce it, but it's like charolite. And the color is purple. Now, this stone represents for me Divine Mother. If you have amethyst, that's a purple. You could use that as well. Divine Mother, purple, soft and gentle. When I see this stone, I think of Divine Mother. So if you have a purple stone, any purple stone, that could definitely be a representation for you for Divine Mother. Any of these. I also have selenite. Again, you do not need any of these stones. You can use your intention. These are just really beautiful crystals to kind of help feel comforted. Again, something that we all wanted and deserve in childhood and even now. And so if you have these crystals, you can get them out as well if you want. When we do the activation, you can also use the crystal, or you can use your own fingers, either or. And so right before we get into the activation, I hope you are nice and comfy and all ready. Take a deep breath, get all comfy. If you want a snuggle buddy or anything that comforts you, your inner child, go ahead and get that at this moment. And right before we get into this activation, I just wanted to share something that I read today on Instagram that was perfect for this activation. So I just want to share with it really fast, share about it. A lot of times when our bodies are pushing away from affection as an adult, or, is because our bodies are in this freeze state, because in childhood, we didn't receive the touch. We didn't receive the contact, the loving, pure, gentle contact that our body should have been accustomed to. And it should have been something that was normal. But if it wasn't normal, we didn't get that contact, conversation, facial expressions of love, eyes of admiration, looking at you with joy and being excited to wake up and see you, right? That's divine mother. But if we didn't receive that from human mother, then what happens is our body goes into a freeze and begins to shut that off. And begins to create this where you become very, it's like you're pushing away from what you really wanted, from what you know that you really want. And it kind of just makes it feel, your body is kind of freezing at the contact, freezing at what your body really wants, but it doesn't have the words to say, wait, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to having this contact, to having, let me see, my screen just got really small and I'm trying to make it bigger because it helps me stay focused. Sorry, guys. Hi, Bonnie. I just seen you were in here. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Sometimes my Zoom acts really funny. So, but anyways, but what happens is your body goes into this freeze and it's almost like a shock. Your body is in shock because it doesn't understand what was supposed to be normal is now no longer normal. Your body has become accustomed to what isn't normal, right? Because it thinks that's what it's normal. I didn't receive much bonding, or I didn't receive much contact. And personally, for me, I didn't realize that I didn't receive that contact until in my 30s. My childhood self had created this fantasy where I believed that I had healthy bonding with my mother, human mother. And it wasn't until my 30s, my early 30s, when I realized it was a fantasy. And so what happens is I had noticed a lot of these symptoms, right? Me pushing away, me not wanting affection, me having a hard time even giving somebody a hug. When they were hugging me, I would feel my body kind of pushing it away. So what happens is your body feels emotionally unsafe because of abandonment, neglect, emotional misattunement, not being emotionally supported, emotionally disconnected. Your body doesn't feel safe. And so your nervous system doesn't become familiar with the various human emotions. This is so sad. So your body will develop defenses against the feeling. Your body will get these defenses. And even as an adult, your body will begin to freeze at touch, any kind of touch. It can be a simple touch, or it can be intimate touch. And so coming into the knowledge of your body and validating your body, because it's like, here is your body and here you are. You know you want this affection and this touch, but this part of your body is saying, I'm not used to it. What is that? What is that? It doesn't feel normal. And so through this activation, we're teaching our body what is normal and what was supposed to always be normal. And even if you did have an amazing bond with your human mother, this is just a great activation to validate your body, because I don't think anybody can have too much self-love, right? So in the short moments of stillness, like we're about to have, your body is going to reconnect with the feeling of touch. I'm super excited to share this. So again, what I want you to do is you can be in a very comfortable position. I'm going to use my fingertips. Again, if you do not want to use your fingertips, because if it causes any kind of trigger, you can use your favorite crystal in replacement of your finger. And I'm going to probably be using both. So you'll see me switch back and forth, but I really love my fingertips. And so what we're going to do is I want you to get your fingertips, and you can use any part of your body. So you can use your arms, your neck, your face. You can even your legs, your tummy area, your neck, wherever it is that you feel drawn to touch. That is totally and perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be exactly where I'm touching or exactly where I'm feeling. Let me see. Are you ready? I'm super excited. Okay. Now, as we begin to touch, this is the activation words that we're going to say is, it has always been safe for me to be lovingly touched. It is safe for me to be lovingly touched. And as I want you to begin to use your fingertips or your crystal, I want you, and you can speak this out loud or you can say it in your mind. You can also mute your mic if you don't want us to hear you. And I want you to begin to use your fingers. I want you to begin to gently and softly begin to touch specifically your shoulders, your arms, your neck. It can even be your head, your hair. It could be your ears. It could be your cheeks. It could be your nose. It could be your neck. I want you to begin to touch these areas softly and gently. And as you repeat these words, it is safe. It is safe to be lovingly touched. And I want you to repeat those words, and I want you to softly and gently, I want you to touch the areas of your body and begin to repeat. It has been always safe for me to be lovingly touched. It has been safe. It is safe for me to be lovingly touched. It is safe for you to be lovingly touched. And I want you to begin to repeat that over and over as you begin to touch your arms, your neck, your shoulders, gently and softly. I want you to feel your fingertips or the crystal touching against your skin, and I want you to feel it. And as you feel it, you repeat. It has always been safe to be lovingly touched. And I want you to repeat that, and I want you to just slowly rub the side of your face, down your neck. It is safe. It is safe. It has always been safe for me to be lovingly touched. And I want you to cup your face, almost as if a friend is holding your face, but I want you to see it as Divine Mother. And as you cup your face, I just want you to hold your face, gently hold your face there. And I want you to say, it has always been safe to be lovingly touched. It has always been safe for you to be lovingly touched. It has always been safe for me to be lovingly touched. And just continue to gently and softly rub your fingertips slowly and gently, or the crystal over your body as you repeat, it has been safe. It has always been safe for me to be lovingly touched. I want you to begin to repeat the words, I have always been wanted. I have always been wanted. It is safe to be lovingly touched. It has always been safe for me to be lovingly touched. I want you to feel the tingles, the coldness of your fingers. I want you to see the representation of perhaps a certain age, any age that might pop into your mind. If there is a certain age popping up into your mind. And as you see that your inner child at that age, or it could be 13, 14, it could be yesterday. I want you to hold her. I want you to let her know it has always been safe for you to be yourself. It has always been safe for me to be myself. It has always been safe for me to be myself. Divine Mother says, you have always been wanted. You have always been wanted. If you're feeling any kind of heat, if you feel your body, like if there's heat, like I can feel so much heat, that's totally normal. It's like your body is receiving it, or you could be the opposite and feeling really cold. I don't know if what you guys are feeling. If you can share it in the chat if you want, or you can also share it on the mic at the end if you want. I got really, really hot, and it's not even hot in here, and I'm getting super duper like hot, and my hair is wet too. So for me to get really, really hot, it's like, that's weird. But, or you could be the opposite and feel goosebumps all over you as well. But I just want you to continue to activate this. It's your fingers, or again, the crystal that is lovingly touching your body. You know, I remember as a teenager, before I would go to bed, I used to do this, what I'm doing right now, this, not even knowing what I was doing. And I used to just like rub my fingertips just softly and gently. And now looking back, I realized I was giving myself affection and touch that I had never received, which is really sad. Andy says she always did the same thing too. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And you know what's even self-soothing, and I didn't even realize that's what I was doing till just now. I'm like, hey, I used to do this. Like, I did this activation on myself earlier, but it didn't come to my mind until right now while I was doing the activation. And you can still keep doing it, you know, as I'm talking, you can continue to just rub any parts of your body your leg, your feet, if you know, as I'm talking, and your body needs that touch. It needs that validation. And even again, like I said, if you had this amazing bond with your human mother or caregiver, I'm sure we have all had moments where we wanted just a little bit of extra time or a little bit of extra hugs or a little bit of extra cuddle time, and we didn't get it. So even this is really, really good to validate your body and your inner child and you, who you are today, to validate who you are today, because you are worthy of this touch. And of course, we're worthy of loving touch from not just ourselves, right? From our children, or a loving touch from a partner or a lover. Like that's it, that's all included as well. But what we're doing in this activation is we're letting our bodies know that we have always been saved to be lovingly touched. There was nothing wrong with us. And Divine Mother, as you touch and feel softly and gently, you can also see it as a representation of Divine Mother, because Divine Mother resides in you. Divine Mother resides in me. Divine Mother resides inside of all of us. We don't have to be a parent. We don't have to have children to activate Divine Mother that resides in us. We have divine, every soul on planet Earth has Divine Mother inside of them. Now, whether it's, they can hear it or not, but that's another thing. But Divine Mother is the very essence of gentleness and purity and kindness, but also firmness and protection. Many of us, maybe we didn't get that protection, right? We didn't get that protection from our human mother. Maybe they knew something was going on. They knew there was we were perhaps not being lovingly touched. But there was no protection. There was no protection. But Divine Mother is the protection. She protects her children. And that's who you are. That's who I am. And as you feel the fingertips, and your fingertips are the crystal, you can say, I was always worthy to be protected. It was always worthy to be protected. And one of my favorite touch is this, holding and cupping my face and rubbing my cheeks, right? Or rubbing my hair. And holding and cupping your face. And it might feel a little weird, but cupping and hold, even if it's for 5 seconds, because sometimes if we didn't receive that, like for some people it could be easy, but like for those that perhaps never had any contact whatsoever, like not even a little bit, it feels really weird to touch your body. It feels really weird to cup your head, and it feels very, very weird. So don't feel like something's wrong with you if you're like, I do not want to do that. Don't feel like something's wrong with you if you're like, oh, I'm not going to touch myself. I'm not going to, no, I cannot do that. Like, that's perfectly fine. You can start with like something that does make you feel comforted, right? Some of us playing with our hair, scratching our head and playing with our hair, that brings comfort. Start there. What is something that brings comfort? Whatever you can find that just comforts you. Playing with your ear, when you have an itch on your back or an itch somewhere and you scratch it, it feels really good. Like it could even be that, just like massaging your arm, massaging your neck and your back, whatever it is, even if it's for 3 to 4 or 5 seconds, because you will build and you will feel and you will reconnect with your emotion. Because what happens is you lose the emotion that was frozen, but you can gain it back by little spoonfuls and tidbits of just feeling. And if feeling is too much for you, that's totally okay. You want to go very simple and easy, especially for those that not only did you not receive contact, perhaps you had abandonment, neglect, or even physical unloving touch. Okay, I'm going to say it like that. So it's totally fine to not even feel like we can even bring ourselves to touch our bodies. But simple touch, you know, right before bed, rubbing your finger down your arm for like 3 seconds and starting there. What that's going to do, and speaking the words, I have always been safe to be lovingly touched. I am safe. You are safe. You, I, whatever the word you want to use to say. I have always been safe. I've always been safe to be lovingly touched. And just continuing to do that. And I know that's such a short, sweet, simple activation, but I promise you, it really will bring activation to your body. So for the next only if you're able to, if you feel like you're like done, like I can't do this, I don't want to do this, that's okay. You know, you can, stop the video or, pop off and come back when you're ready, when you feel ready. But if you are ready to do the last 5 minutes, what I want to do is I really want to hold space for us to do the activation again, now that we have a little bit more of understanding, and go for it and just speak. You don't even have to speak the words I'm speaking. You can speak whatever words come to your mind. You'll be surprised. Sometimes your any past version of yourself will begin to say words and you're like, oh, where did that come from? That's for you. So I'm going to go ahead and begin to do this activation again. So you can, if you're laying down, I always love doing it laying down. It just feels so comfortable. And again, if you don't want to touch, you can grab something that is like, a pillow or anything soft, and you can just hug it. And you can speak that as well if you do not want to physically touch your body. And we'll begin the activation. Just taking some deep breaths. Allowing your body to just completely if you're laying down, just letting it all just fall against your bed. If you're sitting up, just feeling the weight of your shoulders just be released. And beginning to just gently and softly lovingly begin to gently and touch, any area of your body that you feel comfortable. And just speaking the words that come to mind, or you can repeat, I am safe. I am safe to be lovingly touched. I have always been safe. I have always been safe to be lovingly touched. You can whisper it. You can say it gently. Another thing that you can do is record yourself speaking it and then just replaying it at night, like putting it, under your pillow or putting it on your Alexa or Google if you can connect it with your phone, and just put it on replay gently at night, and you can hear a gentleness saying, you know, representation of divine mothers saying the words, you have always been safe to be lovingly touched. You have always been wanted. You have always been safe to be yourself. You have always been loved. You have always been perfect to me. You have always been wanted by me. And that can be the representation of Divine Mother. And you can record yourself speaking those words. You can even fall asleep listening to those words. And this is going to do so much for the affectionate wound. And as you begin to do this activation, you know, if you're watching this, you have access to this video and you can come back and, you know, you can fast forward it to the part where we're activating bringing the healing for the affectionate wound. And another thing that you can do here at the end as well, in conclusion, is if you do have a partner or a lover, or if you know, in the future, if you do end up having one, you can also have them do it. You can ask them to, you know, or you can use their fingers or their hands, and as you're using their hand, you can literally, and even if for your best friend, like, it doesn't even have to be a lover or an intimacy, right? Because this is just loving touch. Like, this could even be a friend. And if you have a child, I mean, you could do this, you know, lovingly with your child. You know, you probably already do, but saying, you've always been safe to be yourself. You have always been safe to be lovingly touched. You have always been wanted. You have always been wanted by me. And all the other amazing words that a divine mother says, or human mother, right? If you did have that, you know, your human mother as well. And you just begin to speak that. And when you're out and about and you can't, you know, start doing the touch, you can just speak it. You have always been safe to be lovingly touched. You have always been safe to be yourself. You have always been wanted. You have always been admired by me. I have always been in gratitude to have you as my child. You are perfect in my sight. There is not anyone else I would have asked for to be my child. And those are the words that Divine Mother speaks to you. And probably your human mother too, if you have that bond. But for those that didn't, Divine Mother speaks to you now. And because Divine Mother resides in you, you can speak those words to yourself, and it has power. It has power. These are not just words. These are not just affirmations. Affirmations are wonderful, but this is beyond affirmations. This is literally Divine Mother residing inside of your cells and soul, speaking it out, coming back inside of you, and your body is excited and your body loves it. And I'm just so proud and thankful and grateful that you chose to be here to watch this. And yes, continue to do this activation, you know, as many times. I mean, it's just amazing. It just, you know, and when you do it alone, you might feel a lot of release. You might cry, like you might find yourself really giving a good release of tears, and that's okay too. I know I did. And when I did the activation, you know, a few hours ago, I just began to like gently cry, and I didn't really know why, but I knew that my body felt so good. So yeah, so before we close, If you have anything you want to say, you can unmute yourselves and share. Like, you can share anything you want. I encourage you to, because it kind of just helps activate it into, using the power of our voice, like saying this activated, or this brought healing, or my body got hot, or did your body get cold, or what did you feel? Did you feel any kind of sensation, or are you going to continue to do this activation? Is this something you feel like will continue to help you, or anything like that? If you want to share, anybody?
I can share. For me, like what resonated more than it has always been safe to be lovingly touched was like what came up was it has always been safe to be loved, and that like I got very like emotional at one point. Because yeah, it's like something that is actually like a pretty big fear for me is like I have been abused in relationships, and so just like accepting that like it's safe for me to love someone and to allow love into my life again. Yeah, it like really hit deep for me. So I think I'll do this like before bed sometimes just because I feel super relaxed and like I was getting super sleepy. So I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Andy, for sharing. I appreciate that. I'm so glad. Yeah, this is a perfect one to do before bed or when you're waking up in the morning, to kind of get your body ready. It's like before the day starts, we don't know what's going to happen. Like we might come across, a grouchy cashier or a grumpy coworker. But waking up and knowing that you gave yourself this loving touch, is just, it just like sets the space and the tone for knowing that no matter what, like you're here for you. Anybody else would like to share? Even if it's in the chat, like you can share in the chat as well, because I can see anything. That's so amazing that you said that you also self-soothed, and I didn't even see it like that, Andy. I didn't even realize it would self-soothe. That's so amazing. It's comforting to know that without realizing it, my body was comforting myself. Because I used to do that when I was like, I think I was like 13, 14. But I even found myself, I remember doing that, like self-soothing and touching my body, even like in my 20s.
I do it all the time. Like I'll usually get like a pencil or a pen and like scrape my scalp or like caress my face with it. And I'm like, it just feels so good. And then I think I was in like my like early 20s, and I was like, oh, I'm like self-soothing when I do that. And I've been doing it since like the first time I remember is high school, but I'm sure before that, because I was always like, oh, what am I doing? Like I would do it in class, and I'm like, people are gonna look at me weird. What am I doing?
Yeah, that's wow. But I think that's beautiful because it's like, for me personally, I didn't receive hardly, I don't even know if I received any, honestly, a contact from, as a child. So it's just it's sad, but it's so amazing how your body kind of makes up for it. Like if we allow it to, it will kind of speak to us and like give us what it needs. And then like kind of like get us to point A so we can get to point B, if that makes sense. But it really does. Your body is amazing. I'm so thankful. Anybody else would like to share? If you do want to share, I do want to give you that space. I don't want to end it without, if you have something, anything. Going once, going twice. I just want to thank you guys for being here, and for everybody who will end up watching. I just want you to know that, the Divine Mother is always with you and always present, and all the words that you either didn't hear or you did hear, but you no longer hear, could be because maybe you have a detachment in the relationship with your human mother, or maybe your human mother has passed and you don't have that anymore. This can also be very helpful, soothing, and comforting to do in the sense of having that's a representation of your mother that has passed, and you know, her rubbing your face with your own hands, if that makes sense. So it's so beautiful and soothing. And again, you can use a crystal. So yeah, that's all I have. And I just thank you all, and I will see y'all next time. And I hope you guys really feel just the love, and I hope you continue to do that, continue to do the activation, because it's timeless. And that's about it. Have an amazing night, and thank y'all so much. Good night.
Thank you for your time.
Good night. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm so appreciative of all you. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.